Hey guys, it's Gel Polish Canuck, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make these Sharpie flowers. They're extremely easy. I know they look a little complicated, but they're actually one of the easiest things that you can do. As you guys can see, I have been playing a lot with my Sharpies, and I'm like extremely addicted. So what you're going to need is Sharpies, of course, in all sorts of different colors. I just picked up little fine tips because then I can be a little more precise and have a little more fun with them. You're also going to need isopropyl alcohol. I would try to stay around 90-91%. The higher you go up in your alcohol content versus your water content, it is going to evaporate a lot quicker. So you might have some issues with it evaporating too fast and not being able to move it around to get the desired look. And a little lid. You can use a shot glass, a dapping dish. I chose just a juice lid because it's wide and I can only put just a little bit amount in here. And then when I put my brush in, I'm not completely soaking it all the way up to here to get all of the color off. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol in my lid. And you guys can use regular paint brushes for this. They do not have to be nail art brushes. So if you do choose to go that way, just make sure that you rinse them in alcohol to make sure that you're not going to get any color bleeds off the bristles if they're dark bristled brushes. Okay, so I think for this one I'm going to start off with a red. And there's two different ways that you can do the petals. I'm going to show you both ways. The first one is you can scribble out, and I mean literally scribble out, each petal individually. Okay, so if we're going to do that way, take a little fine point brush. Oh, and before you guys get started, make sure you put down a double layer of paper towel because you are going to need it. Okay, wet your brush in the alcohol, tap the tip off, then all you're going to do is start tapping. Okay. The drier your brush is, the more the little lines are going to stay in, and the less it's going to bleed out. Okay. So there is one petal. I really need to upgrade my camera. Come on. Here we go. So there's one petal. You can see how you can still see some of the lines. Okay. Really? Okay. Yes, I am extremely graceful. Okay, so we're going to continue with a couple more petals and do the same thing. Remember to keep your brush dry to get the more intense lines in the center. Okay, and I'm going to continue to go around and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Okay, so here's my flower with all 4 petals. And if you find that the edges of your petals are a little harsh and you want to smooth them out a little bit, just take a very damp brush and you can feather the petals out a little bit. Oh, yes, I should show you. And from this too, you're going to have your background stained already. And by stained, just do a wash of color underneath, and then it'll all, if you do the sheer ones, it'll all bleed through. Okay, and I should mention too that this was just 2 coats of white. I didn't top coat, I just removed the inhibition layer. Okay, I want to take a little bit more with the center here. All it requires is a light hand and a semi-dry brush. So now I'm going to show you guys how I managed to get the center here. This is really easy. Took a little bit of yellow, color a little dot, okay, and then I took my dark green and then just put little dots. Okay. Take your brush again, dab the excess off, and then just tap the center. Clean your brush off, tap it again, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And I took a little too much of my dots out. This is the best part, is that if you do take too much out, you can add them back in, and you can layer this as much as you want, or as little as you want. Okay. So there we go. There's one flower. Now I'll show you guys how to do the washed flowers. They look more like the African violet flowers. And I'll show you guys how to do those ones. We're going to go with a real purple. Okay. So this one is somewhat similar. You're going to start with your scribbles. You want to close your edges off a little bit more. Okay. And your brush is going to be a little bit more wet for this one. Start in the center. The idea here is to start in the center, and you want to remove as much color from the middle as you possibly can. Without disturbing the outline. See, and this is why you need 2 layers of paper towel. Okay. And once you're satisfied with the look, you go ahead and draw your next petal. And you can do as many petals as you want. It all depends on how thick that you make them. But see how it's starting to form? When you just do one, it kind of looks a little silly and you're like, I don't know. Okay, we'll do one more. And you always want to start in the center. So then the color will bleed outwards and leave a nice little border. And again, you can fade this out as much or as little as you want to get the desired effect. Okay, so I'm going to finish up my petals and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to show you guys if you just did what I just did. I put a little bit too much on my brush and see how I lost my border. To fix that, just take your Sharpie and just color this one in. Okay, and then go back to dragging it out. There we go. Oh, I still lost it a little bit. But again, you can layer this. There we go. So if you do mess up, you can fix it. And you can just keep playing with them until you get the desired effect. And again, you can also brush the edges out a little bit. Okay, now we're going to do the center on this one. Again, nice little circle of yellow. And if you're happy with that, you can just leave it just like that. Couple little dots of green. See, so even though I did not leave the center perfectly clear, I can still add yellow and make it look great. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple more coats on this one, and I'm going to show you guys a different method on how to make some really little flowers. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So I have done 3 layers of white, cured it, removed the dispersion layer, and I forgot to top coat this side. Had my blend free wipe with alcohol and wiped a lot of my design off. So I did try to fix this one. I haven't gone back and tried to fix this one yet, but I'm going to show you guys how to make little flowers. Little flowers are a little bit different than the really large ones, only because it's really hard to do the same method we just did for teeny tiny little ones. So basically what we're going to do is you're just going to build all your petals, and you're going to have a little blob that looks like this. Okay. And again, you wanted your brush to be on the fairly dry side. You just want to take the majority of the color away from the center. Okay. Wait for that to dry. Put some definition where you want your petals to be. Some dots of color in. Maybe the blue wasn't the best choice to try to make a flower out of. So you just want to build the color up around the edges. Okay. And see, and this is where you just dot. And take away. Okay. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I like having a little bit of a wet piece of paper towel And then I can just grab a little bit of moisture without having droplets. Okay, so there's my little flower. And color a little yellow spot. Go back to your moist part of your towel. And there's your little flower. Okay, so I'll do a couple more and I'll come back. Okay, so I'm going to do a slightly larger one in orange. And again, same process just in case you guys wanted to see that again. You want to pretty much avoid the center of color. Okay, and it does not have to be perfect. As you can see, this is going to be kind of an oblonged flower, but nothing in nature is really perfect. Okay, wait until that dries. Grab my pen again. Just going to kind of form out where we want our petals to be. Okay. And then start So all we're doing here is just adding just little layers of color in different dimension. There is no real rocket science. Okay, let that dry. Let's see how each time I do this, it just keeps adding a little bit more. Whoa! Bloody heck. Shouldn't be tutorials on nail art. There should be tutorials on watching me drop stuff on the floor. I think. Okay. Go back in again. Again, tapping away out of the center. Oh, I had too much on my brush. But no worries, you can always draw your lines again. See, so I just lost all my lines. When this is going to happen, don't get frustrated. Just draw your line again. Okay. again. So I'm going to finish up this flower, and then I will come back. Okay, so just wanted to show you guys this. So right now it doesn't really look like a flower, it just kind of looks like a blob. But take your yellow, color the center. Okay. Take your green. Put a couple of dots. And then we're just going to tap the center. There. And now it sort of looks like a flower. Not everyone will come out the same, and sometimes some are nicer than others, but that's where it helps to wash your background out. Because then when you wash your background out, sorry, I'm going to put lids back on my markers. When you wash your background out, you're going to have stuff for the flowers to bleed into, different colors, and then see here the yellow that I have down here shows through on this flower, so it just adds a little bit more extra dimension to it. And then when you guys do your top coat, you're going to have to float your top coat over gently, or else it might smear. And then make sure you do two layers of top coat. Cure it, and you guys are good to go. If you have any questions or comments, or if you guys are struggling or whatever, just let me know in the comments bar below, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Have fun!